So we are in August, which means that eviction moratorium that's been in place since last September, I believe, is officially up. This is big news. This can be very impactful on the real estate market. We're going to talk about it a little bit more at the end of this video, but first let's talk about market update, market stats for Southern San Luis Obispo County and the Santa Maria Valley. My name is Christian Tiessen. I'm with Hubbell Real Estate, as you know, and if you have any questions about the real estate market, I'd love to help you out. My number is 805-459-9834. Let's look at those numbers again. I'm going to get a little bit smaller on the screen here so that you can see the chart. I liked how that looked last month. So jumping right into those numbers, Southern San Luis Obispo County, active listings basically flat, 183 this month compared to 186 the month before and 181 the month before that. New listings down just a little bit, 154 compared to 175 and 192 the previous month. So seeing a decrease in those new listings coming on the market. However, the sold listings did drop as well, 159 compared to 178 and then 167 the month before that. The absorption rate stayed exactly the same, 1.2 months worth of inventory on the market, 1.2 last month, 1.1 the month before. Now, this is an interesting number. The median sale price, $790,000, which is a 20.2% increase over last July. Think about that. 20.2%, you cannot beat that return. And what is even better about that return is if you look at the cash on cash return, meaning the amount of money you actually have invested and what that is returning you, it is an insane number. So let's say you only have 50% equity in that home, which is pretty significant. You know, a lot of people don't have 50% equity, but let's say you do 50% equity. That means you're actually getting a 40% return on your cash, because if you only owe $350,000, but you're still getting, you know, that benefit of the growth from $790,000, you are getting a huge cash on cash return. And that's something you just can't get with other investments. You know, you can do leverage in the stock market. However, it is a very bad idea. Don't leverage the stock market. Bad idea. But the nature of real estate is that you are basically leveraging. Pretty much everybody is leveraging the bank's money, and the bank is allowing that money to grow with you. However, you are the one that is benefiting from the growth of that money. The bank does not. They get their interest, of course, but they don't get to partake in that equity growth like you, the homeowner, does. Jumping right over to Santa Maria, a little bit of a decrease, but we had an increase last month. So 86 active listings this month, 93 last month, and 77 the month before that. New listings down just a little bit, basically flat, 123 compared to 125 the previous month and 106 the month before that. Sold listings, 109 compared to 79, so a nice big increase in sold listings, and we had 89 3 months ago. The absorption rate is 0.86 months, excuse me, 0.9. We were at 0.96 last month and 0.8 the month before that. So the absorption rate's going up a little bit, which means we're getting a little bit more inventory on the market, which is very, very good. Median sale price, $535,500, which is a 17.05% increase on your money. And again, if you have 50% equity, you are getting far greater cash on cash returns than that 17%. So crazy, crazy appreciation. This is a very good time to be a homeowner in the Central Coast. Now, let's talk about that eviction moratorium, because this can have big implications on the U.S. I just saw an article that said there's about 11.4 million people that are behind on their rent. 2.2 million people, it's estimated, have been saved from eviction from this eviction moratorium. However, you know, it is important to remember that over 50% of homeowners in the U.S., or excuse me, 50% of landlords in the U.S. are mom and pops, meaning they're not portfolio investors. They don't have a bunch of investment properties. They're not big corporations that own all kinds of properties, which we may talk about in another video. BlackRock. If you don't know about BlackRock, check it out. It's a very interesting situation going on. A giant corporation buying up tons of houses around the U.S., paying way over asking price, pricing regular people out of the market, 20 to 50% over asking price. Could be a very serious problem in the next few months to coming years. But I'm kind of going off on a tangent here. Let's talk back about this eviction moratorium. So if you have not been paying your rent, if you've been late on your rent, your landlord can start the eviction process now. You know, again, a lot of these landlords, they're not these big corporations. They're not these greedy people that are just hoarding all kinds of money. A lot of them, you know, that money is, they're on a fixed income. That money is helping them for retirement. That money is, maybe they're only making $100, $200, $300 a month on that property. So if you're not paying your rent, or if you're late on your rent, or you're paying partials, that could be a very bad situation for a lot of landlords around the US. So that eviction moratorium coming up is a very big piece of news. Whether you are for it or you're against it, that's up to you. But it is a big piece of legislation, or I guess I should say lack of legislation, that has happened in the last month. Another very interesting stat I noticed, we're talking always about low interest rates. 15-year interest rate on average, 15-year fixed, 2.1%. That's insane. 2.1%, 15-year fixed. So you pay off your loan in half the time. You pay way less interest. It's a good option for those of you who maybe do have a little bit of disposable income that could afford to make those extra payments to pay down that loan a little quicker. That is it for this month. I hope you enjoyed the video. My name is Christian Tiessen with Hubbell Real Estate. If you have any questions about real estate, or if you know anyone that could use my services or any advice, I love to talk about this stuff with people. Give me a call, shoot me a text or an email, 805-459-9834.